Hello, everyone. It's about 9:30 here on Friday night Eastern Standard Time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the games I got first, tell you the story of what happened from my earlier video this morning on how I missed out on a PS4 20th Anniversary Edition sealed system. And then in the next video, we will be doing the drawing for the PS4 or Xbox One. And I noticed in a couple of my videos lately, I keep saying Xbox 4 and PS1. Obviously, you guys know what I mean. So, first game I got, I ordered, I wanted to buy it at a store. They didn't have it, but I ordered it online from Best Buy. It is Dead or Alive 5 Last Round for the PS4. Pretty easy stuff here. Basically, this is an updated version of Dead or Alive 5. I knew about it. I knew it was a downloadable game, but I didn't want to really download it. I hate downloadable games. I want physical copies of games if possible. So when I found out that it was an actual physical copy, I grabbed it. So, new, it says I'm a fighter, and then last round, the last fight. And then here it says new blockbuster stages, enhanced graphics make the hottest fights in gaming even hotter, new hairstyles and other characters, details, new costumes, new characters, Honoka and Raidu. And Raidu was a boss from the first Dead or Alive, by the way. Join the largest roster ever, 34 characters in all. Transfer DLC purchased for the PS3 version, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. So that's pretty easy. I'm going to be playing this just to beat it again, play with the new characters, that sort of a thing. So that's that. Now, the next set of games are, PS1 Saturn games. I went to Mr. Deals in Albany, or in Colony there, and I wanted to see, I hadn't been to Mr. Deals in a while, so I wanted to see what was up. Really, I missed out on a lot of Genesis stuff. I missed out on a couple of games. I was pissed that they didn't have Skull Monkeys. He thought he got, that's a PS1 game I'm missing. He thought he had that. He did not. So give me 1 second here. The things just fell out of the drawing bucket there. All right, so first game we'll go over is for the Saturn. I don't know if I had this or not, but I grabbed it. It was $15. I said, screw it. It's Sega Sports Sega Rally Championship. Let me see if I can zoom out of here. There we go. All right, so Sega Sports Sega Rally Championship. So on the back here it says the ultimate in pulse-pounding off-road racing. You got 3D arcade racing. And then power through turns, skid out on dirt, blast through mud, grab all the air you can handle. Phenomenal polygon-based graphics on Sega Saturn deliver superb down and dirty racing action. 4 challenging courses. You got the desert, the forest, the mountain, and a bonus lake course. 4 unique cars stoked with speed and traction to handle off-road racing hazards. You can go head-to-head in 2-player mode, and you have the 2-player racing here. And it's an arcade racer, a port. And then you got experienced thundering engines and punishing wipeouts with Sega Saturn CD quality sound. So, Sega Rally Championship, Sega Saturn International Rally, Sega Saturn. Pretty simple. Next game, I don't know why I haven't picked this up in a while. Couldn't really find it. I could have bought it online, but again, I'm lazy. I want the hunt. It's Spyro the Dragon for the PS1. I never really got in the Spyro series. I played the first game because, it was the makers of Crash Bandicoot, or Universal at least. It was a Sony mascot game, so I picked it up, and I just never got into the series. The case is fucked up. I gotta fix the case. But basically, Spyro the Dragon. Meet Spyro the Dragon. He's a feisty little flame-spouting dragon on a gigantic go-anywhere 3D fantasy adventure. Packed with puzzles and enchanting adventures, collect treasures, recover stolen family jewels, and discover hidden regions. Dragons come to life with hints as you free them from their spells. Enemies run and hide, hit each other, fire cannons, throw snowballs, and even moon you. Take full flight in secret treasure rounds, shoot down planes, fly through rings and arches, and more. And Game Informer says 3D gaming never looked so good. So this is Spyro for the PS1. Next game on the list, Sled Storm. Yeah, it's a snowmobile racer from EA. Pretty easy deal here. Insane snowmobile racing, a new racing challenge. You get more than 40 insane tricks and combos, 14 tracks through hazardous terrain, race open mountain and snowcross circuits, upgrade and customize sleds, 2 to 4-way multiplayer action, slamming sounds of Rob Zombie, Econ Line Crush, Uber Zone, Easy Rollers, Dom and Roland, and more. And the in-game graphics says Super Snowcross, Big Air, Extreme Environments, Multiplayer, and 6 different characters. So Sledstorm, picked that up. And that was it for Mr. Deals. I almost got a collector's edition Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, or was it? It was Brotherhood, and I already have the game, obviously. And I went on this Assassin's Creed Collector's Assassin's Creed Collector's binge here because I said to myself, why did I not, when they came out, buy the collector's edition of games? I bought the collector's edition of Unity. And for Mortal Kombat 9, I bought the collector's edition of that, and I try to get the highest editions of all the sports games that come out. So why did I not do this when Assassin's Creed came out? And I realized that when I bought AC1, I didn't even realize it existed. So I saw it in GameStop way back, and I said I bought it used, and I bought it, and I was like, okay, cool. And then AC2, I had commercials for it. So I remember seeing commercials for AC2, but I hadn't at that point seen even AC1 yet. I hadn't even played the game yet. So when the AC2 got released, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I remember seeing commercials for AC1, then I saw commercials for AC2, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check out what this is all about. So I bought the first game, and then I finally bought the second game used, and then by that point, AC Brotherhood had come out, but I, for some reason, didn't realize they were collector's editions until it was too late. And then when I realized there was collector's editions, I just said, screw it, I'll just buy the game itself. And then for some reason, I bought the collector's edition of Unity. So anyway, I'm in Mr. Deals, and I'm looking at a collector's edition of Brotherhood, and of Brotherhood, but it didn't have the game. So that was kind of off-putting. And then it didn't. Actually, let me rephrase. They had 2 editions. One was sealed for $100. I'm like, I don't see the value in that. The other one was used for $50. I'm like, all right, $50, screw it, I'll buy it. It didn't have the game. It didn't have an art book. All it had was a Jack-in-the-Box thing. And I'm like, you know what, this is stupid. So I didn't buy it. So that was at Mr. Deals. The other thing I was looking at was a PSP, Assassin's Creed Bundle, PSP Bloodlines. Now, I already obviously have a PSP. I already obviously have Bloodlines, and I played it, and I've beaten it. But I said, I have the PS Vita bundle with AC3 Liberation. Why not just, add it? I'm a collector, I'll just add it. Well, it didn't have some of the inserts. The box was in bad shape. And he wanted $90 for that, and I said no. I didn't see the value in that either. So that was that. And it was used, obviously, but not new. Then I almost bought a Sports Edition Dreamcast. The box was near mint, but it did not have the controller, did not have the 2 games it came with. Not that I cared, because I already have NFL 2K1 and NBA 2K1. Or it was either NFL 2K and NBA 2K, or NFL 2K1, NBA 2K1. But anyway, so he wanted $100 for that, and it was a fair price considering the system was pretty much brand new. But there was no controller, no games, and I was like, you know what, I don't see the value in that. I'm not going to spend $100. Now, it was pretty cool I didn't do these purchases. Later on, I'll show you why in this video. So that was Mr. Deals. Then I had gone to J Street Games a couple days prior in the Albany location, the Crossgates Mall location, but I hadn't gone to the Colony Center one. So I go to the Colony Center one, and I walk in. And these are the games I got at the Colony Center. The first game is for the original Xbox, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Now, I never played this, never really had any interest in this. I have every other Dead or Alive game there is. You just saw Dead or Alive 5 last round for the PS4. But I figured for $10, screw it, I'll pick it up. And basically it's just a beach volleyball game with all the women from Dead or Alive. And Dennis Rodman actually did the voice of Zack. And there's music by Bob Marley, Christina Aguilera, Real Big Fish, and more. But here it goes. It says, are you ready for some extreme action? Then your wait is over, because the girls of Dead or Alive are back and better than ever in the first ever sports fantasy simulation. Developed by Team Ninja, the guys who brought you the million-selling Dead or Alive 3 fighting game, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball is sure to have your heart racing with beautifully rendered graphics and action-packed gameplay. The extreme action is transported from the fighting ring of Dead or Alive 3 to the beach this time around, with the girls throwing on their bikinis to go head-to-head in the most outrageous beach volleyball game you have ever seen. So you have stimulating activities await you, killer soundtrack or rip your own, gamble at Zack Kingdom's Island Casino, and you have fast and fierce volleyball action, and beach babes galore. This is obviously Tina, this looks like Kasumi, I forget who this is. So I picked this up. Now there's a story that goes along with these next two games I'm gonna show you, and I'll explain the whole scenario to you in a minute. BioFreaks. Now this BioFreaks is for the PS1. I think I already have it for the N64. If not, I have to get it, but it was a cross-platform game from Midway. It was not a good fighting game at all. But here it says, the future is now. America and her government are in ruins after the techno-industrial civil wars. Technology has spiraled out of control, spawning a new breed of citizens, the BioFreaks. And Game Informer says, what sets BioFreaks apart from the rest of the fighting pack is its use of 3D space. So you can battle alone or against a buddy in an unbelievable 3D world of color, graphics, animation, and sound. Enter the world of BioFreaks with caution. If your opponent doesn't kill you, the total sensory overload just might. Battle in 3-story multi-tiered arenas. Watch out for hazards such as lava pits, meat grinders, and spinning blades. Choose from 8 freaks. Each is armed for battle with his or her own deadly arsenal, including pulse lasers, grenade launchers, stun guns, swords, and machine guns. You're in 3D space. Move your fighter in any direction, fly around the levels using jetpacks, and make your moves while hovering. Now, some of the other magazines quoted this game. Electronic Gaming Monthly, EGM, said, makes its mark with originality and shock appeal. Yes, this one just may shock you. GamePro said graphically provides an eyeful, including detailed carnage, fluid animation, and well-designed polygonal characters. And Ultra Game Players magazine said, truly, you won't find better characters in any other fighter. So this was $5, so I grabbed that. The next game is Skull Monkeys. I couldn't believe they had it. As I said before, the other place, what do you call it? Mr. Deals didn't have it, but Skull Monkeys, they finally had this game. For those of you who don't know what Skull Monkeys is, there was a cartoon, claymation cartoon. I forget the name of the cartoon, but it was a guy and his dog. And the makers of that cartoon made an actual game for the PS1. And Game Informer says, chock full of humor, just like Earthworm Jim. It's a great game. Hard as hell, from what I remember. Towards the middle of the game, there was one level I just could not beat. It was just so hard. But I'm going to try to see, eventually when I get to this game, to see if I can cheat, and throw in like a Game Shark or something to see if I can get like unlimited lives. I think I tried doing that once and I still couldn't beat it, even though I had unlimited lives or whatever it was. But it's a platformer, and it says, armed with a killer butt and a boatload of bizarre weapons, you're Clayman, the last clay action hero. Run, jump, butt bounce. Repeat until you save your beloved homeworld from the evil villain Clog and his Skull Monkey minions. There's 90+ levels of gameplay, multiple secret areas and levels, and hilarious weapons including Universe Enema, Fart Head, and Hamster Shield. And it's from the Neverhood. And I'm trying to remember the name. Wallace and Gromit is the name of this cartoon that I'm thinking of, with a guy and his dog, Wallace and Gromit. Well, the same people made this game for the PS1. Rare game, as you can see, $50. You find it online for roughly the same price, maybe $30 to $50, whatever. I picked it up. It's all about the hunt. Now, if this was $100, I probably would buy it online, but it wasn't. Screw it. So I found this. So, now, here comes the story. I walk in, and lo and behold, the guy had an Assassin's Creed 3 collector's edition. It was used, but it was $70. But it didn't come with the game, and it had been opened. But everything else was pretty much in mint condition. So no game, it was opened, but it was $70. And I didn't see the value in $70. I just didn't see the value in it. So I tried to haggle with the guy. I was going to get Skull Monkeys anyway. And I said, listen, give it to me for... He goes, make me an offer. I said, all right, $45. I figured, fuck it. I'll go up to 50. That's probably the highest I'll go. So the guy came back with like 59 or something. I said, nah, I'll give you 50. And finally he came back with 53. So I thought about it, and finally I said, fuck it, I'll do it. So what I'm going to do, and that's not the end of the story yet, it gets better. Okay, let me just show you. I'll do it. It's really not an unboxing only because, AC3 came out a million years ago, but I'll show you what it looks like here. And then after I show you guys this, I'll get to the meat and potatoes of this whole story. All right, about the PS4 and everything else. So anyway, let me throw these over here. So this is what it looks like, okay? You got the AC3 Limited Edition GameStop Edition, okay? And just to show you, it says you get a 9-inch tall Connor statue, which I'll take out. Metal belt buckle with Assassin's Crest, George Washington's notebook, and a 28-inch by 48-inch colonial flag with Assassin's Crest. It says, ignite the revolution right here. The American colony, 1775. As a Native American assassin fights to protect his land and his people, he will ignite the flames of a young nation's revolution. You have visceral combat, engage in naval warfare, claim multiplayer, and conspire with real historical leaders. So I'll open this up. Just take this plastic thingy off. Okay, and then let's open this thing up and show you guys what came in it. Almost, there we go. So, take this out. All right, now this, we'll get to the statue in a moment, but this here, you're going to see, this is the flag, or whatever this is here. I'll put that back, but you can see it's the AC flag. Okay, and I'm not going to unfold the whole thing because I really don't want to have to deal with putting it back, because I'm horrible when it comes to stuff like this. I can't even put it back now, as you can see. You might be able to see, you might not. I can't even fold it. I forget how it even came now. So, you know, I just want to, let me see what happens if I do this. There we go. I'm just going to have to do. So I'm going to put this back in its little holdy thing. All right. So there's that. And then you have the flag itself, a little, you know, little miniature flag thing here. And then you have George Washington's notebook. See if there's anything in here. There might be, I don't know. But George Washington, GW. Oh, yeah. December 14th, 1799. My death has not yet quite arrived, but it is near and is inevitable as night follows day. I have felt myself decline for a long time now, but I fear not death. This is what I told Dr. Craik when leaving him in instructions to stop the vain attempt that can only delay the inevitable. Soon I shall join my dearest Martha, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to read this whole thing for you, obviously. You guys will be bored out of your minds, but just to give you an idea here, you got pictures, and this is his journal from back then. This looks like it comes out. How? I'm not going to even try to attempt to, but there's a page that should be coming out. So anyway, I'll just keep showing you guys. Okay. Flip through it. Here we go. This comes out like so. All right. This must be Connor up there. So, just keep going through this little notebook here. All right. There's another one that should come out. I don't know how. It should come out. You can feel the pages are different. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going here. And so this here, this comes out like so. Oh, and then this comes out like so here. So, ooh, really opens up. But anyway, let's move that down. All right, so then keep on going. And this is just, you know, his journal and his exploits from, you know, when he meets Connor and everything else that happens to him. And then his last entry, and then you have the Ubisoft team that did it. Throw that back in, and then you have the belt buckle, AC3 belt buckle. There you go. So that's that part of things. Let me put this back. Hopefully this, see, already I screwed up. I don't know how I did it. Please close. No, of course not. Of course you're not going to close. Why would you close? No. So I'm going to try to put this back, put it in. And I could probably take the Connor statue out. Does it show a picture? Of course not. Oh, wait, it might. No, it doesn't. So I'm going to try to take the Connor statue out, but I don't want this breaking, so let's just see what happens. All right. Be real careful here. So this is Connor on a rock, you know, chilling. So you can see his pose, the back of him. So that's AC3. So, they put this back, and let's continue on with the story. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, ah, screw it. Then I found out, then the guy says, listen, because this does not come with the game, because it's open, I'll give it to you for $53, and I already agreed to it, but any games you buy, I'll just give you 10% off. So I said, all right, deal. So that's when I found, beach volleyball. That's when I found Biofreaks and the other game I got. So then he tells me a story because I'm telling him, listen, I'm a complete in-box collector. He tells me a story of this guy named Steve. Okay, Steve is a complete in-box collector. He's a guy that supposedly makes all this money, comes in, which is funny because for what I do for a living, I really wasn't going to tell the guy, but he's making him out to seem like he's a mover and a shaker. And what I do for a living, obviously, I make decent money. Same as Steve, if not more. So, but whatever, I kept that to myself. But he's like, yeah, you know what? Steve is, as you see Winnie in the background, chilling on her chair there. Steve is this guy, comes in, pays his rent, and just buys everything we got. Complete in-box Genesis, complete in-box Sega CD, complete in-box this, complete in-box that. Because I told him I was looking for Genesis games, some old Game Boy games, that sort of a deal. And he says, okay, well, yeah, the Steve guy. So I'm looking at some of the, they have like a complete in-box rare Super Nintendo games, complete in-box rare 64 games, complete in-box rare, in this last counter. And then I see it. I see this rare game. And for those of you who are waiting for it, here it is. It does not come with the instruction booklet. It doesn't come with the instruction booklet. This instruction booklet, from what the guy told me, goes for about $1,500. The instruction booklet goes for about $1,500. It's this rare. But I had a decision to make. I said, do I buy the game? Am I really going to spend this kind of money on a game? Am I really, really, really going to spend this kind of money on a game? And I thought to myself, okay, I buy it. I'm not going to play this. I already have it. I just don't have this version of this game. And I'll probably just keep it as an investment and maybe try to sell it later on. Now, I looked on eBay. The game itself, a loose cart, goes for $275. There's only 1 or 2 loose carts on eBay and Amazon. The box itself, just the box, is worth $300. Is going for $350. So if you add the box for $350 and the lowest price of the game for $250, you're at $600. Well, this is it, folks. This is what I bought, and I'm going to try to maybe do on eBay like a auction or whatever. But here it is, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. This was the exclusive Blockbuster edition, Blockbuster Video, that came out for the N64 that you rented in the stores. Now, the game is inside. There are inserts for this, but there is no instruction booklet. Otherwise, this thing would have been a lot more. $700, by the way. $700. So, the box itself, now how do you know it's Blockbuster? Well, the cartridge itself, if you look at it, it says property of Blockbuster. This was the old barcode that you scanned on the actual game itself. It's right there. The box isn't in the greatest of conditions. It's not horrible. Like, the back is pretty mint. There's a crease up here, crease up here. Looks all right. There's a little rip here. Okay. It's in this protective sleeve. This is okay. This is okay. There's a little rip here. The corner, the edges are wore. This is ripped a little bit right here. But the bottom line is I bought this because I'm like, okay, it's going to be an investment. This is the rarest N64 game complete in box you can find out there. And because it was a limited edition just for Blockbuster Video, and Blockbuster's obviously out of business. And what would happen is people would go into the store, they'd rent the game, it came with the box, came with the instructions, they'd lose everything or just break everything and just return the game without the box, and Blockbuster didn't care about it. So all the boxes and instructions were ripped up or lost over the years. The games are rare, but a game in the box, I got ripped off by $100. I could have got the box by itself plus the game, and I would have paid $100 less, but it is what it is. I bought it. Because at the time, when I looked at this game, just the game was on. Later on, somebody posted the box, a different person. So it wasn't like it was already there, and I could have just said, I'll buy the box, I'll buy the game separately, I'll pay $100 less. Even with shipping or whatever, they would have paid shipping probably if I had bought it. But either way, it is what it is. I bought it. It's going to stay in this case, and I'll probably do an auction of it at some point on eBay. So now, I'm forcing myself, I'm racking my brain. on what am I going to do with this fucking game. Because this Steve guy always buys the stuff. You know, even if I thought about it the next day, this Steve guy probably would have bought it from me, out from under me, whatever the case is. So I'm at the store, and there's this kid. Now, the kid's walking around. He's like one of those kids that always hangs out in the store, really, you know, is a loner sort of a deal. He knows everybody because he just stands there all day, and he just watches people buy stuff, and he wishes he was them, that sort of a kid. Kid was a nice kid, real nice kid. But he's standing there, and he's like, man, I really wish I had the money to buy that. And he points at a box. And I'm like, what's he pointing at? And the guy behind the counter is like, oh, well, we got a PS4 limited edition 20th anniversary system, sealed, still in the packaging. I said, what? And if you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about, to commemorate the PlayStation from 1994 to 2014, to commemorate the PlayStation, Sony created a limited edition gray PS4 system. Only 12,300 were made in the entire world. The first system, number 0001, okay? 00001, okay? Got auctioned off in Japan for 130,000 US dollars to benefit charity. 130 grand somebody paid for the first ever system, number 00001. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to open the thing. I'm just going to have it. And when everybody else sells theirs 5-10 years from now, fuck, that thing's going to be worth whatever. Even if I tripled my money, it's worth it as an investment. So I said, fuck it, $1,500 is what the guy wanted for it. Not the guy working at the store, but the guy who owned the store, whatever, J Street. So I said, Jesus. So now I'm looking at a $1,500 purchase for the PS4, $700 for this fucking game. And the guy said, listen, remember, if you think about it, 10% off every used game. Well, I said to myself, 10% off of this game, can I get 10% off of this, 70 bucks off? No, because it's of the price that it was at. But I can get 10% off all the other shit. So, and then he lowered the price of the AC3 down to 50 bucks if I bought the Clay Fighter. Because obviously he wants to make a sale. So I said, listen, the guy says to me, listen, are you serious about the PS4? I said, yeah. He goes, all right, just got to call my boss. I said, listen, call your boss and ask him what the best he can possibly do. Now, meanwhile, before the guy calls his boss, the guy was telling me about the PS4. Listen, this Steve guy, he doesn't even know about it. He doesn't even know about it yet. And I'm thinking to myself, whatever. It's a fucking sales tactic. What you don't understand about is I already want the system. I'm already going to spend the money. If I have to pay $1,500, I'll pay $1,500. Okay? But obviously, if I can do it for less, I'll do it for less. So he calls his boss. Within 5 minutes, he's off the phone. Sorry, man, you can't buy it. I said, what do you mean I can't buy it? He goes, Steve already found out about it. He already put the money down. He's just waiting transportation for it. I said, what? No, dude, all right, listen, I'll give you $2,000 for it. I'll pay $500 more than what Steve bought it for. No, sorry, man, can't do it. I said, get on your phone. Does your boss think I'm full of shit? You know what I mean? Does your boss think I'm full of shit? You know, I have the money. I'm going to buy the system. Nah, it's not that. He just, Steve found out about it. I don't know how Steve found out about it. I said, well, is he just assuming that I'm full of shit, so he's just going to wait for Steve to buy it, knowing he fully well will buy it? Well, no. I mean, Steve really did buy it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So that's the story of how I almost got a PS4 limited edition, one of 12,300 in the entire world. One of 12,300 in the entire fucking world. And instead, Steve, whose description that I was given is shorter than me, same build, and he wears a maroon coat. So this fucking Steve guy bought it out from under me, and I didn't even realize it was sold. And to this day, and it's only been a day, but for this point in time, I'm pretty sure the boss on the phone is just full of shit. I don't think Steve even knew about it. I think because Steve has done so much business at that store, he wasn't going to sell it to anybody but Steve if Steve wanted it. So I gave my phone number, and I said to the guy, listen, I'm looking for this type of stuff, that type of stuff, and if you find another PS4 limited edition, man, call me. So I get home tonight. I go on eBay. There's a bunch of them for sale on eBay. And a lot of them are, bidding is starting at $900, bidding is starting at $1,000. But there's a buy it now one for $1,200. And I said, I can buy it right now for $1,200. Buy it right now for $1,150. I said, it's a good thing I didn't buy it for $1,500 because I could buy it right now for $350 less. So I offered a guy $1,050. He still hasn't responded to it. Hopefully he does. And if not, you know, it is what it is. I'll probably just buy it for the $11.50 or the $12.00, whichever I can find. But that's the story, folks. So, in long and short of it is, you guys have seen the games I've gotten. I'm going to, after this next video where I do the drawing for the second PS4 Xbox One contest, I will be throwing in Dead or Alive 5 last round and playing some of that, seeing how it looks on the PS4. Because I have Dead or Alive 5 for the PS3, obviously, when it came out. I grabbed that. Wasn't thrilled with the game. Wasn't as good as some of the other games in the Dead or Alive series. Graphically, obviously, it was a huge upgrade because, for those of you who don't remember, Dead or Alive 1 only came out on the PS1. Dead or Alive 2 was exclusive for Dreamcast. And then, when Dreamcast went to the shitter, Tecmo released Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore for the PS2. Then, Microsoft signed a deal where it was exclusive. Xbox, for the original Xbox, was Dead or Alive 3. And Dead or Alive 4 was exclusive at one point for the Xbox 360. It was one of the launch titles, if I remember correctly. Dead or Alive 4 for the Xbox 360. And it took a long time for it to finally get released, but Dead or Alive 5 finally got released on the PS3. It was a lot of years in between. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Dead or Alive 3 that got released on the Xbox 360, and that was the launch title. I forget. I think Dead or Alive 3 was for the original Xbox. Yeah, it was Dead or Alive 4. It's Dead or Alive 4 for the Xbox 360. That's what that was. But anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. A lot of you have been asking for scratch tickets. Here's the deal with the scratch tickets, just so you guys know. For those of you who did subscribe to my channel thinking it was a scratch ticket channel, it's not. It's just something that I did to pass the time while I was dealing with Unity. And I love scratch tickets, don't get me wrong. It's, it's gambling. It is what it is. But it's fun because imagine if you win. Imagine if you're even a $10,000 prize. That's still ridiculous. How many people do you know that have won like $100 million? You know what I mean? Like, nobody fucking knows anybody that's done that. If you have, good for you, but pretty sure you don't. So it's always that. And it's cool to watch, for you guys watching to see, hey, how is it going to win? Is it going to win? Because it's never a repeat. It's always something new every time. So, but then, a lot of you guys are like, oh, listen, I love your videos. I love the scratch ticket videos and stuff like that. So we're still going to do them. Me and my buddy Ken at work, we're still going to do them. But I think we're going to limit them to maybe twice a month. So for those of you who know, one might be a book of tickets. And one video might be just a bunch of loose tickets. We'll see what happens. But again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Those are the recent pickups. Obviously, the rarest one was Clay Fighter. Then you got Sled Storm. You got Spyro. Okay. You got Sega Rally Championship here in the back. Skull Monkeys, great platformer, guys. Very weird game. Very weird game. Let me move down. And you got Bio Freaks. Throw that here. And Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. Throw that in the back. And this is going to fall. But anyway, there it is. The AC3 Collector's Edition. And then Dead or Alive 5 last round for the PS4. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I know I keep saying that, but what else am I going to say? And get ready, folks. Next video that gets uploaded will be a live drawing, as live as it can get, of the next winner of the PS4 Xbox One. Thanks for watching.